I never been there, nigga. I never been there, nigga. Come with me. The Q City, nigga. Welcome to Q City, America's new city. Pack up and move with me. Niggas wanna shoot cause they're scared. I'd like to welcome y'all to Q City World. We'll talk about GGG. Is he ducking JERMAL CHARLO? Is he ducking Danny Jacobs? Or is he out here just trying to get this money? I truly believe that GGG will fight anybody. I'm talking about anybody, you know what I mean? I think that Abel Sanchez do not want to see GGG versus Jacobs or Charlo because they don't bring enough money. He basically saying these fighters out here, and they just want to get a payday. They ain't earned to be in a position to demand a fight against GGG. Ain't they fault that Canelo failed a drug test, but they want that Canelo money or more. He like, Murata is over there in his country. He a gold medalist, you know what I mean, undefeated. 14, 15, 16 fights, I can't remember. That's what he said, you know what I mean. He said, but he's a WBA regular champion. So we'll take his fight because he's selling out arenas. So it's money in that fight. Now dealing with Charlo, he's the undercard fighter. He only fought 2 fights at 160, just not moving from 154. Danny Jacobs coming off of 2 horrible wins. I mean, not horrible, but they wasn't impressive. It ain't nothing that make people be like, oh, we want to see Danny Jacobs versus GGG. That's going to be an exciting fight. Now, Charlo, he got us more like that, but at the same time, I understand Abel Sanchez when he say, look, these guys got to fight each other. And they were like, do you think he should fight Danny Jacobs? And he was like, well, they really ain't got to fight each other right away, you know what I mean? But maybe they should go after Saunders, Devachenko, you know what I mean? He said, somebody got to fight. He said, because GGG ain't finna fight all these fighters in your name. And so he said, they got to knock each other off to get to him. You know, I like Charlo. Charlo my guy. You know, I even think Charlo, I put my money on Charlo against GGG, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I think that these boys want to earn that fight against GGG. You know what I mean? And GGG want this Canelo fight because if he knock Canelo out, you dig? If he knock Canelo out, he becomes a pay-per-view star. You dig? That's a good name to put on his resume. You feel me? He couldn't get him last time because Canelo had his hand wrapped up. His hand was like a fucking cast with a broke hand, you know what I mean? That man hitting that man with a cast, so GGG couldn't really get up in there like he wanted to. Cause Canelo hand wrapped and had that nigga hitting that nigga hard as hell, you know what I mean? And then plus Canelo was on drugs and shit. But at the end of the day, Canelo finna come in as a regular fighter. He finna be off drugs. GGG, the man, that man get vital testing started immediately. Like right now, they gonna talk about the fight in the next 2 to 3 weeks. So, you know, he want that Canelo body on his record, you know what I mean? He want that body, man. You feel me? So let him get that body. Danny Jacobs, Charlo, y'all should stay busy. Fight each other. Somebody need to take out Demetrius Andre. I don't know what he just hanging around. And I don't know who the fuck. I don't even care about Billy Joe Saunders. I don't care who he fight next, man. You dig what I'm saying? He's a goofy. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, like Abel Sanchez said, you know, I don't agree with everything Abel Sanchez said, you know. He said black fighters don't sell and all that shit. That was some bullshit, you know what I mean? When Floyd Mayweather was the biggest selling fighter he ever seen in his motherfucking life. But at the end of the day, you know, Abel Sanchez, you know, he talk a lot of bullshit. I know he trying to protect his fighter. He trying to make the right decisions to make the most money, you know what I mean? But everybody want to see the Charlo fight. But I do agree that Charlo should go ahead and knock out a couple of these other undefeated 160 stars to build his name up. For real. I know y'all might sound like some Eddie Hearn shit, but this some real shit, man. I think Charlo, you know, I don't think he had no work at 160 yet, you know what I mean? I think that Danny Jacobs is going to he go ahead and beat Danny Jacobs, become the king of Brooklyn, and it's motherfucking over, you know what I mean? Can't nothing stop him. He said, and Devachenko only fought 12, 13 fights. He said beating that was 22 and 22 in an 8-round fight. And all of a sudden he's the fucking mandatory. He said it's fucking bullshit. They asked him if is he gonna give the IBF title. That nigga said, look, man, we gonna talk to our lawyers, man. We ain't just giving up our titles, man. We gonna talk about it, man. We gonna see what's good, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it ain't what they say it is. We get around that shit, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I would love to see the JERMAL CHARLO versus GGG fight. But that fight can be built a little more. I still want to see CANELO get his ass knocked out. I'd like to thank you guys for coming to Q City World. It's been a motherfucking blast.
Only real niggas alive.
No suckers in my city.
No suckers in my city. No suckers in my city.